Welcome back to another quick review. Today we're talking about Metroid Prime Remastered. Now, I've never played a Metroid game before. Actually, that's not true. I have played the old 2D Metroid, so Metroid and Super Metroid, years ago. Uh, and it was I only played bits and pieces of the beginning of those games, right? So I've never really given a Metroid game a fair shake, nor have I ever beaten a Metroid game until now. Metroid Prime Remastered is outstanding. It's so good. Um, and so it's a bit different than what I'm used to playing because, you know, when I come into a game like this, my mind is always like story, 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 just because of who I am. I'm a writer first. That's my goal. That's my career. I love writing, right? And so whenever I go into like a single player game like this, my mind is always like story, 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 right? Metroid Prime's story, I feel as though you know, kind of takes a backseat. It's definitely it's told through like text logs that you can find throughout the entirety of the world, as well as even outside of the text logs, it's like very basic. Like, oh yeah, sees the stress signal. Samus finds Ridley. Samus chases Ridley and uncovers secrets while also chasing Ridley, and other things. Right. That's kind of what it boils down to. Um, the story isn't like outstanding in any way, shape, or form, but I think where this game really shines is literally everything else. Um, it's a game that I think I just had a lot of fun with. Right. It's a game that I couldn't stop thinking about when I wasn't playing it. I remember beating it last night and and I was going to bed, and my mind was constantly thinking of like different routes that I took in the game to get to different areas. And I think that's just so cool for a game to do. Exploration was genuinely so much fun exploring the entire world. Now, once you get to the Phazon mines, not as fun, but exploration genuinely was just a lot of fun. Finding out secrets, solving different, puzzles and whatnot. It's just outstanding. Which is something I never thought I'd really say for a video game because, I like exploration, but I'm not. It's not forefront. Like I said, I like a good story first. Exploration can come after, especially it is probably made better, especially if the story is phenomenal. But just this game does something for me that I just can't explain in regards to. I just can't explain. Compared to other games in which exploration is such a big thing. This game does it just so much better, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that has to do with different enemy varieties, different places to go, different things to discover. So there's so many different systems and items to find that I just loved finding, loved testing out things, loved trying things. And I think that leads us to combat, where I don't think Prime's combat is, you know, the greatest thing in the world, albeit the game came out, 2001, 2002, right? So I don't think it's like the greatest thing in the world, but it's a combat system that definitely fascinated me and intrigued me. I unlocked pretty much every possible unlock in the game. Yeah, it took about 20 hours, but I did it. And just for a combat system that is 20 years old, there's so much depth and different systems that you have to take into account that I think are just absolutely amazing. I think a prime example of using all of those systems in unison, because it can be hard to use them in unison, especially when of course, you playing with a controller and switching back and forth between different power ups and different weapons and whatnot. It can be hard to use them in unison, but I think the best way, I think the point in which um, you can definitely best use them in unison, the point in the game in which it best uses that all of those systems together in one was the final boss fight against the Metroid Prime, the core. or not even the core, just the regular Metroid Prime. The entire boss fight, where you have to switch between different weapon types to either be able to shoot the balls, you can go into the morph ball to avoid different things and slide into the crevices of the place, which I mean, it's just the entire game is just phenomenal. Outside of the phase on mines, the entire game is just phenomenal map design, and especially you get to this point and you know the little crevices that you can roll into the morph ball with. I think it's just outstanding. Switching different to different weapon types, using super missiles and wave beams and whatnot, just works. And then when you get to the second phase of the fight, having to switch back and forth between different visors and also switching back and forth between different weapon types to kill Metroids. Um, it's just, and then using hyper mode, like along with your movement, and movement's great, but using hyper mode along with your movement is just chef's kiss. It's great. It's amazing. But yeah, that's my review on Metroid Prime Remastered. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 just because the phase online pissed me off so much, and there are like a couple other little nitpicks that I can make. Like if I had to run into a Chozo Ghost again, I was going to be very upset. It pissed me off. So there are like a little tiny little bit of nitpicks in there that I could realistically throw in, but I don't think they take away from like the majority of the game. The majority of the game is still outstanding, and I really do hope that Nintendo brings Metroid Prime 2 and 3 to Switch before Prime 4, because I would love to play them. I don't really have a way to play them, but I would love to play them. And I'd gladly spend money on them. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm excited. I want to play more Metroid games. I want to play 2D Metroid, 3D Metroid, whatever. I want to play more. And the fact that the game can make me do this once we play more of a franchise just off of one game is amazing. But yeah, thank you for watching. See ya. Bye.